James Bronner to the show.
Thank you so much, Francyne. Glad to be on with you and talking with you today.
Yes. I wanted to make sure we talked about the beginning.
Okay.
The beginning, how it came to be. It's 74 years is a long time.
It is. So it started back in 1947. So that was long before I was born.
Yeah.
The original Bronner brothers was my father, as in the picture there, Nathaniel Bronner Sr.,
Yes.
and along with his brother, Arthur Bronner. And that's some of the sales reps that they had. So they started off distributing another product, and then they came along and made their own product. And my father, he went to actually beauty school. Most people don't know that, but once he began to service salons, he said, I wanted to learn the industry from the inside and understand, the schooling of my customers to be able to service them better. And he was the only male in his graduating class. So, so that's a little bit. And as he was servicing salons, he began to notice that a lot of them had similar problems. So they might have been in different regions and they were disconnected, but he saw, he heard a lot of the same things going from shop to shop. So he had the idea to get them together to talk about some of the problems, to give them some of the education that they needed, to be able to pool their buying power, to bring in vendors, to be able to get better deals on products. And he put together that first show in 1947, and 300 people showed up, and they had fashion and all of the styles and education and vendors and everything. And it's been going for 74 years ever since. From the 300, it's grown now to over 30,000 twice a year. So we have not missed a year. This is the year in 74 that we won't have a physical show. At least we did have a physical show this year in February. Okay. So it's this time we won't have the physical summer show. That'll be virtual due to everything that's going on. And we really wanted to be able to keep our people safe. And we don't want to use our own people as a guinea pig. They were still figuring out how to do some of this large gathering stuff. And I let them figure it out before we gather.
Yeah,
so we'll gather online, but not in person this time.
Yeah, we're going to wait till we'll go back out when the White House is open.
That's right.
When the stores are back, And, it's interesting because you all are, and I was talking to you in the green room, I said, Dr. Bronner would want you all to move forward even with this challenge that we're faced. And I don't think we've ever seen, that was 1947, so the 74 years, you're not 74, I'm not 74, but neither one of us have seen a pandemic that has adversely affected us in such a huge way. We're not going to even talk about the casualties. So it is very important for us all to make a decision to protect everyone, that is near and dear to us, from coworkers, because we see a lot of these corporations still deciding to move forward and just disregard humanity.
Right.
So, I think it's commendable that you guys are continuing to still keep your employees safe, still keep your family safe. What are some of the challenges? Because this is indeed a challenge. You no longer have 300 attendees. You have way more than 300. So what is the challenge for you as the trade show director to bring this forth? Because I know it's a challenge it has to be.
Yes, it's definitely.
Because this is like, how they talk about the greatest show on earth, this is the greatest show, multicultural beauty show in the world.
Yes.
That is Black owned. You know what I mean? That just gives me kind of like a real goosebump feeling, because that's amazing when so many companies like Ebony, you know, are folding for various reasons, and not to disparage them, but it just says a lot about the legacy that has continued to this day.
Yeah, and we have gone through a lot of challenges with it. So the first challenge came actually not with the show, but with the products, because of course we make a lot of tens of products, and we sell a lot of them through beauty and barber stores and through the salons and the barber shops. So when this thing hit, in March and April, we had probably a 50% drop in sales, because you weren't able to go to the store or to the salon. So the ones that were in Walmart and grocery stores were still able to sell, but it really affected us on the product side. So one of the things that we did to pivot in that space, we kind of looked at our capabilities, and we have over 100 employees, and they have families depending upon them as well.
Yes.
So one of the things that we did to pivot is we looked at our capabilities and our expertise, and we saw some of our products, like Pump It Up, actually had alcohol in it. So we took the alcohol from those tanks and we began to make hand sanitizer.
Oh my goodness.
And we heard from a lot of our customers that even as they were trying to open up, they had a hard time finding hand sanitizer, especially at that time. So it met a need in the community, and we were able to sell it to shops wholesale, and they were able to retail it even to their customers that needed it, and that provided them extra income and allowed them to stay safe. And that so we spaced our line out, the workers 6 feet apart, and gave them PPE material, and did all of the temperature check coming in, and kept everybody safe. And we've had no cases of COVID within the company. Praise God for that. And so one of the pivots, that's the first pivot that we had to do with the products, because the entire landscape was changed with that. And then with the beauty show, the state really couldn't make up their mind on what they wanted to do. And it was hard to predict it in the beginning stages of this, whether it would be around in the summer as strong as it is now. So I'm glad we prayed about it and looked at the science on it. And I'm glad we made the decision early on to pivot into a virtual route. So it was a challenge, because people who had been used to doing things in a physical space and setting up booths, and now all of that's in a virtual space.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it, though, I'm probably, out of all of the shows, I'm probably the most technically astute trade show manager, because it's actually my background. So a little bit that when I was in college, I actually majored in computer engineering, and I didn't know at that time that I would need it for such a time and such a day.
Look at God.
That's right. So he got me prepared at Georgia Tech there for such a time as this. I didn't know how I would use those skills in the beauty industry, but God knew, and he had us ready. So we're able to translate what we've seen in the physical world as close as possible into the digital world. So keep everybody safe. They can stay at home and still get the education, the products, the entertainment, the social networking, and the competition, everything still in a virtual space. So it's been a challenge learning a new technology and building things out, and trying to educate and bring other companies up to speed that will be participating with us. But it's going to be the first of its kind, but we're known for a lot of firsts. So it's another innovation, but it's what we're built to do. And even with this challenge, there hasn't been anything like this in the last 74 years. But at the same time, there have always been challenges. So there was a time, even when my father was over the show, about a month before the show, he had a sibling that passed, and he had to go out for that funeral. And as he was leaving that, another sibling passed. So he had to leave one funeral and go directly to another funeral of a sibling. And it was right at showtime. So he still had to go through that and put on the show. So there have always been challenges. So he groomed us to be able to persevere through challenges, and it even started the challenges even before his generation. So one of my father's earliest memories as a young boy was waking up in his home in a country town in Georgia, and the house was on fire. And because they were doing so well in their farm life and in their business life there in the country, the KKK had set their house on fire out of jealousy, and they had to flee town in the middle of the night. So that's something. So a lot of the things that we're seeing culturally now, it was worse back then, and they had to start all over. And that actually happened twice. So they had to move towns and rebuild twice. So when my father got ready to start Bronner Brothers, he was only able to come to Atlanta with $20 just because they had to rebuild twice from the jealousy and just the racial injustice that was going on at that time. So
such a, I was going to ask you about how your dad fared being a successful businessman in the South.
Yes.
And so you answered the question, because I said, I know it had to be some kind of retaliation and jealousy, because, we're such a tenacious people that we take something and take nothing and make something, $20. And here we are today talking about a virtual show. 74 years later, from $20 after having to rebuild twice. That has to, and he definitely did, influence you all. You had a paper route.
That's
so
right.
You started very early as an entrepreneur.
That's right. So he wanted all of us to learn business from an early age. So I started at 5 years old, and that was my first business experience. I didn't know how to ride a bicycle. I was so young and little, and it's where I learned sales. It's where I learned accounting, to go out and collect the money, and marketing, letting people know about the newspaper, and hard work. It's actually hard for me to imagine now, being in my mid-40s. I have 7 kids. I can't even imagine now. Sending 5-year-old by themselves in the morning, and it's dark. So I don't really know how they did it, but they saw the vision, and it was a little safer back then. But it still was things going on back then as well. But it was what developed us. And he never wanted us to be spoiled or feel entitled. So he really raised us up the rough way. We never got an allowance. Actually, people at that time, they knew about Bronner Brothers, and they were thinking that I was coming to school in a limousine. They didn't know I was walking to school.
Yes.
Walking home.
So he was very strict. Your parents were very strict in making sure, even though you guys were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
You're doing well, and how many? So the J Crew, 7 children.
Yeah.
You and your wife. The oldest, how old are your children, the age range?
So the oldest is 22 and the youngest is 12. So we had all 7 kids in our first 10 years of marriage.
Okay. Is the 22-year-old, is he involved in the business?
So he is finishing up. So I actually have 4 kids in college this year. So that's a challenge in and of itself. So I have about half of the children are working in the business. So my oldest is finishing up college, and he's in IT. So he's actually helping us behind the scenes with this virtual show. Okay. And I have a 14-year-old daughter. So she wants to be a chemist. So she's helping out in the lab, and she will be the next generation that helps us develop cutting edge products. So she wants to get a doctorate in chemistry. And for Father's Day, she made me some car spray and some beard oil custom in the lab for me. And what she did, she took my first name James, and she put an ingredient that matched each letter. So for J, she used jojoba. for A, she used something, and for M, she used myrrh. So she took it and made a custom formula for me on 2 different products. So I thought that really touched me. It's just a lot of ingenuity there.
Yeah, and we need more girls in STEM. We need more girls. That is amazing. Do you think that'll be something, a product offered down the line, or that's you're just going to hold that for sentimental value?
I don't know. I'm going to keep using it and see and all that. Some people, but I am confident that she will develop some great products. I mean, most kids, when they get out of college, they have to then go into training. So she will be training for 10 years, before she gets out and working on those products. So I think that she will really do something to improve the industry. And I have another daughter that's 17. I'm kind of training her to replace me as show director. So she loves hair and fashion and beauty, and she's a people person. So she's working with us as well. She manages our social media at the shows now. Yeah. And so they're all involved in some way, much like we were at a young age. And you really can't learn this stuff in school. You have to be in the field and begin to actually do it, and you learn by doing, and we're there to guide them so that they can really help take it to a new level. And one unique thing in that generation, so there were 2 generations of Bronner brothers. So you had my father and his brother, and my father had 6 sons. I'm the youngest of those, but the 6 sons actually produced 30 grandchildren. And that generation is more female. So you all have seen what the Bronner brothers can do, but next you're going to see what the Bronner sisters can do.
Hey, real power.
They're really showing a lot of potential. So I think you all are going to be pleasantly surprised. Yes.
And that is so encouraging to hear, that the next generation is going to be female oriented, as far as you all are teaching them now. And because it's the beauty business, why wouldn't we have women at the helm?
And I think they will expand us more into we not that familiar with, like makeup and fashion and all of those things. So I think they will take the Bronner name and take it to a whole new level.
Next 74 years, baby. So what are some of the things that, because I said, okay, I'm talking to the beauty man, I need to show up, shoot it and boot it.
You did it too. You did it.
Shoot it and boot it. Now, besides yourself, what are you, who else besides you and Bernard, as I know today, because I spoke to Bernard, and he said, talk to my younger brother. And I said, okay. Who else is in the business at this level?
Okay, so at this time, we have basically all of the brothers except for my brother, Bishop Dale Bronner. And he was in the business when he came out of college, but his church, once it got to a certain size, he has over 20,000 members now. So he had to go full time with that. So I'm over the trade show and the IT department, and Bernard is president. Then my oldest brother, Nathaniel, he has a degree in chemistry. So he's over manufacturing and product development. So he's helped set us up to be able to make our own products, and he's developed most of the formulas. And I have a brother, Charles, he's in the accounting department of purchasing. So we're all kind of in our different areas, and that has worked well for us. So it's hard for a lot of families to work together. But we work extremely well together. And I think one of the things, 2 of the things that helped us with that is, first of all, we saw a good example. We saw my father working with his brothers and sisters in the business. And then we also, the other thing that helped is each one of us has gone into their own area of strength and own area of passion. So we really don't overlap. We just let each brother kind of handle their area of strength, and that helps keeps the company strong, and it keeps strife down.
Do you think that is key for the success of any business, as it relates to this, moving forward to stay in your lane?
Yes, I think it is, because everybody is born with certain gifts and strengths. So if it's an area that you're just in filling, but it's not a strength of yours, another competitor who has a strength in it and puts the work in it, they will exceed you in it. So you do have to even be careful with family, that you're not just working together because they're family, that they do need to have a certain degree of excellence in it, because when a customer is looking at your product or service, they really don't care what the organization is. All they want to know is their product or service meeting my needs. So you do need a level of excellence there.
Yes. Yes. Now, as far as right now, so the virtual show is in September. The actual show was going to be in August.
Yes.
Here's the challenge that I find, even with doing the show, you don't have any control over what the other person is doing. It's way easier to manage the logistics when everybody's in the room.
That's right.
I've been doing it for a while as the trade show director. And senior VP of trade operations, let's make it clear. Let's make it clear. So you have seen the things that could go wrong in a physical show, because it happens.
Yes.
Any event of this magnitude has a snafu.
Yes. Yes.
Are you anticipating some technical snafus on the other end? So are vendors going to be featured virtually, and they have to follow a certain set of protocol to ensure this goes off as smoothly as possible?
Yes, so we're doing as much as possible to ensure we don't have that many problems, but you never know till you go on live, like you said. So some of the things that we would do to try to give the best experience is we do have a protocol with the instructors and vendors in terms of what type of lighting to buy, what type of microphone and set up there, so it'll be a consistent look and a consistent feel through them all. And the way it'll work with vendors, so they will have their graphics on this virtual booth that'll be 3D in appearance.
Wow.
And they will have certain videos will be pre-done. So those videos will be pre-done and approved, giving hair demonstrations and showing you the new products, new tools, things of that sort. And then they will have actually a store online in that booth. They're giving you the show deals. So you'll be able to purchase right there and get the show deals from their booth. And then once you need assistance, if you need to ask questions or to talk with their representative, you'll have 3 options. You'll be able to do a video chat with them and sing and speaking with, or just audio, or just text. So you'll have 3 options to be able to communicate with the companies. Yeah.
Wow. And this way you ensure brand integrity.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
and we will have our entire staff together and monitoring everything. So if anybody get out of hand, we'll be able to pull the plug on that channel, and we can virtually shut a booth down.
Yes, it's like
sometimes. So,
yeah. So I noticed that you have a lot of entertainers, household names. At the not the virtual show, the actual show.
Yes. Yeah.
Will that still occur as far as virtually? Will they make appearances as well?
We won't have as much of that with the virtual. Now, some of them will have booths, so you will be able to video chat some with them, but the entertainment portion will be a little different. So because we're not physically, a lot of times we have the hair battles, but so this time what we're doing is taking some of the best hair battle performances from the last decade, and we're putting those together in one presentation. So you'll be able to view the best of the best. And then we will have some virtual DJ parties where people can, fellowship and dance together. So we'll do it more like that this time.
Wow. It sounds like it's just going to be amazing. Are you excited about this new way? I mean, we're being forced to all pivot in one way or another. And I just remembered when this all came about, God was like, pivot. That has been the main word. And I'm sure you've heard it, as a man of God, as an ordained minister. So he is speaking, right? And if we hearken to his word and just be obedient, there will be success. So pivot. But also, I just remembered him saying, you're either going to submerge or emerge. Of course, that means being obedient. So you can't emerge. You feel confident about the direction the show is taking for this particular season? I know it'll be safe to go outside. I know, you've my prayers to Georgia and what's going on there. My God, the battle just to wear a mask.
Yes.
Are you excited? So when it gets, when it's safe again next year, or who knows when we'll get back, but are you really confident about the direction the show is taking? Because everything was planned to be in August, and then you all made an executive decision in the best interest of the company, your employees, your family, because you have family members that are part, that work in the corporation as well. Are you confident about this direction and anxious to see what it looks like? I mean, you gotta have to almost anticipate putting a feather in your cap for the success of the largest multicultural beauty show in the world.
Yes. So we are excited about it. We are expecting great things. So it was a little unnerving in the beginning because it's something you've never done. Like I said, we've been doing physical shows for 74 years, but the more time went on, the more confident I was of it, because nobody would have figured the virus count would have been as high as it is during the heat and the summer months like that. So I think that God did lead us in the right direction, and it did bear out as time went on. So, and it's a time, and I'm glad we didn't cancel. The reason is because in times like these, that's when people need to be encouraged, and that's when they need to get together and sharing panels and conversations like this the most to know, what's working for different people in different regions and challenges each other are going through. They even need training on, if they got PPP loans or the other loan, how to do the paperwork for that, the sanitation issues, just all type of things that they're going through right now. So it's the time when they really, because some people don't know how to pivot. So it's the time when they really need to get together and to hear what other people the solutions they're coming up with, how they're, putting plexiglass dividers between the booths, or other solutions that they're doing. So I think it's more needed this year than last year.
Yeah. Now, are these particular sessions always, well, maybe not so much as it relates to the pandemic, but a lot of the business education, is that something that Bronner Brothers has always done, or are you really emphasizing the PPE processing? It's all because everybody doesn't process things the same way. They're about their business, the product, doing hair, and then we're hit with this challenge where everything shuts down, anything that has to do with touch, for the last 4 months. And a lot of people didn't understand, okay, as you all did, if you, can't do hair, maybe you can do tutorials, So in or hair care tutorials with your clients to maintain that relativity, as you all did, you did the alcohol. You took the alcohol out of the spritz and the pump it up and made hand sanitizer, but that it's, and then you guys have 74 years as a track record of pivoting.
Yes. So we do always have business classes, but we will have a specific track this time for COVID-19 because financial struggle is more, and it's just some specific issues that you don't have in a normal year. But we always try to be very holistic in the classes. So not only do you have cutting and coloring and weaving and the normal hair and makeup classes, but we try to put in business development and how you do your accounting and marketing and all of those things, social media. And even outside of that, we try to do something on health and even personal finance and credit, because a lot of times our community, they just weren't trained in that. And it really hurts our heart. We've seen some awesome beauticians throughout the years, and some that may have a great clientele that have earning six figures for 20 years. And then we've seen some of them retire and don't have any savings and nothing to fall back on. So that really breaks our heart. So we really try to train them on personal finance and saving and investing and just having something for retirement, because you never know. So the pandemic came out of nowhere, but in your personal world, you can have something like that at any time. You could be in a car accident and out for 3 months, or a sickness, or a parent that gets sick that you have to see about. You could have a fire at your location. Anything can happen. So we want people to have a cushion, a financial cushion for the unexpected.
Yeah, that's just in any company that adopts goodwill probably will last 74 years, goodwill towards their customers. And because the financial literacy piece is so key in our community, and for you all to recognize that and address it, because, if it wasn't the pandemic, it could be a personal calamity. And to maintain that connection. I want to ask you a couple more questions, and I don't want to hold you because I know you are a businessman and a businessman, in the famous words of Jay-Z. I wanted to ask, how have beauty influencers enhanced and made your brand even more relevant in this century?
Well, beauty influencers have played a big part. So and marketing has changed. So it used to be a lot of times the magazines we would do a lot of, but now the influencers, that the young generations, they don't really read magazines as much. So the influencers have put a face and a voice and a personality to what just pages in a book used to do. So we thank them and partner with them so that they can really demonstrate our product and tell them what it's good for and show them the styles, and they're able to tell the story unlike anything else. So influencers are very critical to any type of business now.
Yeah. And you being an IT person can probably appreciate the social media aspect, which is honestly free advertisement to some degree, and if not free, nominal compared to magazine placement. It's free. I like to call it Beyonce's internet. You utilize it for what it is, to talk about products and see beauty influencers utilizing those products, because word of mouth is so strong. And if we, especially now, because if we can't get into the beauty supply stores to touch, feel, smell, or whatever that particular product, then word of mouth becomes your next best friend, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, when I did the research and I was just blown away. It's like, wow, it took me back. And again, Detroit is the hair capital. I don't care, of the world. I'm a little biased, but man, I remembered getting my hair done every week and, having the different products and just sitting there. So it's like, the Nita Baker cut, the Tony Braxton cuts. I was getting my hair done and getting it lined every week, and those products being a mainstay. And then the hair shows that we would have, just with the pump it up, because it's like, it's gonna last. That helicopter gotta last. So it was just such an honor and pleasure to talk to you and hear how a long-standing Black-owned company that has not transferred hands, because see that a lot with a lot of Black hair brands that were. So now, even when us as a race and a community are looking for Black-owned products, because it's like, okay, if we're seeing this person spewing racism and we're not going to support that product, but guess what? It's not Black-owned. So here you see these hair brands that have sold, I don't want to say sold out. They sold in the best interest of whatever they had to serve. But you don't ever see that happening after 74 years. It seems like, and every company, of course, has challenges, right?
Yeah.
Even personal, and not so much to air dirty laundry, but people are people. So, but I'm guessing that won't happen with the Bronner brothers. It will stay in the family, because you got the girls coming up.
That's right. That's right.
To a whole nother level. That's, each generation is meant to make it better. That's the real secret to legacy, to carry it on and give them that reign. And it sounds like what you all are doing is, even if it's starting with men, your father, your uncle, Dr. Bronner and Arthur, you are giving way to this new generation and allowing women to step in as leaders, because I think that is crucial, especially when we're looking around at what's happening in the world. It's like we need more. Would you say we need more female leadership?
Definitely. And females are very capable. My daughters, I've been very impressed with them, and I believe my daughter actually would do a better job than I will. So she's gonna really bless the industry. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
I'm so excited. You have made my day. Seriously made my day. I'm just going to be on cloud nine, just knowing I had the opportunity to talk to someone that is part of a great lineage of just doing the thing, 74 years later, that I'm excited, and proud to witness that, and just see it go forward for another 74 years. It's like, I appreciate you being here today. And one more thing I did want to say before, I always do this. It's like, how they say in church, one more close. So before I close, anybody can attend, or is it just businesses, just vendors, or is it anybody can attend, someone like myself? Is there a different pricing structure? Are you guys doing that differently or no?
So yes, it's going to be different pricing than normal. So this time it's only going to be 2 days. That's September 27th and 28th. So instead of the 3, it'll be 2. Registration, it'll open within the next week. So everything will be at bronnerbrothers.com there.
Okay.
And this registration will be $40 no matter who you are, and that'll cover both days. So that'll get you all of the classes, the exhibit hall, the the DJ parties and the hair battles and everything. So we lowered the price to make it affordable during these times, and that'll cover you throughout the entire event. So everything will be at BronnerBrothers.com, as well as the hand sanitizer is there. And we have a page on all of the financial assistance that's going on from the government in different places. So
amazing. That is amazing. So $40, 2 days. Are you anticipating a huge virtual turnout?
Yes, because a lot of times with the physical show, sometimes people couldn't travel for one reason or another, or people even in other countries where the flight might be thousands of dollars. So I think we will have a broader reach in terms of geography with this.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're
multicultural and global.
Yes, not just one
global.
I also want to say before I go, though, being in the beauty business, that you are representing Detroit's an awesome manner with your hair and makeup. And they ought to be proud of that.
Oh, my God. You have truly made. I told you I was coming correct. I said, let me get up now and take my time.
I love it.
Talk to the man.
You did good. You did good.
Talk to the man in the beauty business for us, that looks like us, for us. You know? So, yes, I appreciate it so much. Oh, my God. Thank you, James. Much success on the virtual show in September. I'll be watching, and I'll definitely post the information so that everyone can refer back to the page, whether it's for the show, financial, business information. Have a wonderful day, a great weekend, and God bless you.
God bless you.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, what an awesome, awesome guest. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys can catch any of the information that we talked about as far as the registration on BronnerBrothers.com, www.BronnerBrothers.com. As for me, you can follow me at Instagram TV, Francyne Walker TV on Instagram. Life and Style with Francyne is my Facebook page. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can catch many more awesome interviews in the future. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah.